Right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So sorry about the delay, but we are here for HCast episode 7. Got a fair amount to talk about today, actually, from Super Bowl trailers to Daisy Ridley's Star Wars future to Henry Cavill's new movie to the Witcher author not being particularly enamored with the series, right the way through to Netflix password sharing, because that seems to be a hot topic and is interesting, and how that'll affect the market. And ugh, there's more. Ava Green is in court and called a bunch of normal crew members on a film peasants. Lovely, charming. She always struck me as a bit of a bitch, but I guess now maybe it's been revealed. So, hey, it is what it is. So if you are new here, ladies and gents, this is the Hcast with my illustrious panel of everyone. We got Andre from Midnight's Edge. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Greetings, everyone.
We have Paulie from the Latino Slant. He is my co-host. How you doing?
Muy bien, muy bien. Además, Midnight's Edge Español.
Did I say from the Latino Slant or not? Did I say that?
You said Latino Slant. I said also too. I represent
No.
Midnight's Edge Español. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm literally just making sure that I did actually say that.
Oh yeah.
We've got Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Hello.
And we've got Nick coming back from a secluded wood or some remote location I heard before. Definitely sounds like a horror movie. But how are you from Echo Base Network?
Doing good. Little under the weather with a sinus infection crap just from the weather around here. But yeah, things have been crazy. Buried my dog last week and then had crazy work stuff this week. So my typical life during the week.
Sorry to hear that. I suppose you're having a rough time today finding out that Anakin Skywalker is a she-her.
I haven't heard that. I've actually been on meds and sleeping all day. I haven't seen anything.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
Somebody on Wikipedia is having fun with the genders and pronouns, I guess, of all the Star Wars characters. I have no idea what's all going on, but yeah.
Condolences about your dog.
Thank you. Thanks, Andre.
Sorry to hear that.
I messaged Nate last week. I was so scatterbrained and just out of it. I completely forgot about the stream. Like I didn't even remember that it was Thursday or that it was even a stream. I was a big huge puss mess last
absolutely
week for
not.
sure.
It's completely understandable. You know, dogs are family. They mean the world to us. Obviously, sadly, you know, when that happened, you know, we didn't expect you to come on. Like I said to you already, you know, didn't expect you to hop on. You take as long as you need because, you know, dogs are important to us, right? They're there. They're little selfless creatures. So absolutely. However, moving on, just not to be sort of callous, but everyone's channels you'll find linked in the description box. Please do go and check them out. If you want to support the show, super chats are the best way to support the show, support the channel. It's a good way to join in the conversation. Memberships as well, become a member. I think you can gift memberships as well, if I remember rightly. But basically, just check it all out. Support the channel, support everyone else that's here, and we'll have a good old time. Oh, and also there's a second channel, which is linked in the description box, Mr. H Reviews Live Archives. Please do check that out. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting closer at like 8,400. So subscribe over there. All these live streams get clipped, and that's actually where the live streams go in their entirety as well. So they don't stay on the main channel now. Anyway, so I think first topic. What shall we cover first? What shall we cover? Shall we talk about the Super Bowl trailers? Because there's quite a lot coming out, actually. Some we sort of knew about anyway and we expected. Some which are a bit of a surprise. You know, we could do, I guess, a brief recap on the DC stuff. Anyone got anything further to add? Because there's more coming out about that. I don't know if anyone else wants to sort of cover any of that stuff first.
What more is coming out?
Well, James Gunn isn't too sure whether Sasha Cow's going to be the Supergirl for Supergirl
Basically,
of Tomorrow
what we were
or something
saying.
like that. Woman of Tomorrow.
Basically, what we were saying the other day. Yeah, this is all getting recast.
Where yeah, I'm curious where we where he said that at. Was that
Well, again,
his video?
It's all this. It's all this big press meeting, press thing that
I want
one
this
was-
press
no one was
conference.
privy
It was a
to.
40-minute thing that happened on the night
Yeah.
before the video was dropped.
Really?
And they're pulling all kinds of random quotes from it, completely out of
Nah.
context, some with more context, some without the context. I am to the
pretty-
point, and it's all just designed so we just sit here and speculate, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it's hurting them because you've got this problem out there now, and it's Ezra Miller, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, they're keeping Ezra Miller." I'm like, nowhere in their answer did they say that.
Well, so there is. I mean, there is some. There is an update kind of on that as well. There's so many updates on this. So, right. So here's the Flash sets up the new DCU. It resets many things, but not all. And this is where. So I did a video on this today, talking about how it potentially still keeps Sasha Cal and certain people in the DCU, because he says, like, is it going to be a complete, is it going to reset everything he was asked, right?
There's a context. I think the context here, because I remember seeing this on Twitter, and the context was actually, why do you keep Viola Davis and the Peacemaker crew while everyone else is going? And that's when he came with this answer. But that might be deliberately misleading.
Well, so he says, nope, Flash resets many things, not all things. Some characters remain the same. Some characters remain the same and some do not. I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean the actors are going to be the same, or the characterization is going to be the same, but a different actor? I mean, it's so wishy-washy.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's all a mixed bag of mixed signals, full of political answers. Very few of them have been very direct. He even says twice that this starts the chapter 1, right? He said those 4 projects that we already kind of knew about were technically the start of chapter 1. And then both him and Safran say it actually starts with Superman. So which is it?
Yeah, well, so this is the thing. So this is what he says, Some things are like a rough memory of what happens in the DCU, but once we hit Superman Legacy, anything can be changed.
Exactly what I've been
does
saying.
that even mean?
That means that's the true reset right there. What I've been saying the last few days. Yeah.
It seems like they don't even know what they're doing yet. They're just kind of throwing this out, and we'll be like, we'll figure it out along the way,
I see what you're saying, Nick, but I disagree. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. They're trying not to destroy these next few movies and projects coming up, because people will be like, why the fuck should I watch this when it's all getting rebooted in 2025? Because that's what's happening, kids.
Yeah, and that could totally be the case, and Tom could totally be right. I was just, the way all this is coming out and the way things are being said, it almost feels like the Star Wars sequel trilogy all over again. Like, we'll do this, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the next thing, and not really have a start to end finished plan in place before they really do anything.
Making it up as they go along, basically, is how it sounds. I mean, like he even says, we're figuring it all out. We don't know yet whether the actress is going to stay on as Supergirl. We're pretty far away from Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. What? What does that even mean? Yeah, I know we're far away, but you'd think you'd have a bloody idea, wouldn't you? You'd know.
Every one of these answers is the same way. Same thing with Aquaman. Same thing with everything else. It's an open-ended answer.
Yeah. And I agree with Tom. I think it's too obscure from the fact that you don't have to see anything that is to come in the next 2 years, because it's all going to be rebooted away.
Well, then there's stuff about Gal Gadot here, right? And the Henry Cavill stuff is so funny. He's like, well, we didn't fire Henry. We just didn't renew his contract. It's like...
That's technically accurate.
Yeah, we could be as pedantic as we want, but we all know what it means.
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
He's not welcome back, just like no one else.
Yeah. So he says, looking forward to the new projects, but I'm disappointed you guys let Henry and Gal go. but still have Ezra around. He's a knucklehead while Henry and Gal have done it all right. Just makes no sense to me. We didn't let Gal go, so maybe she's still on board. Who knows? Ezra's movie is already made. Sure. Henry doesn't fit what I have for Superman. Any word on Gal Gadot? Did you have a meeting with her yet? And by the way, this will be interesting. Let's go. Yes, we met with her.
That doesn't mean shit.
I mean, come on.
So is this going to be just like pieced together some of the old stuff with some new stuff? It just
that was the original
weird.
plan, but I don't think that's what's going to happen going forward. At least
so weird
from what it seems like. But they're trying to
bizarre.
I don't know why they're trying. I mean, I know what Gunn's doing. He's trying to get us all to speculate and talk because they got 2 years before Superman comes out, right? So like until then, I mean, yeah, we have these other smaller projects that nobody gives a shit about, but those are, whatever. Nobody cares about those. It's Superman is going to be the moment that everybody gives a shit about. And he knows we've got 2 years until that comes up. So he's not going to give us anything real solid until they have casting in order, they start shooting something or anything like that. I mean, there's been some rumors flying around and he's permeating the rumors, right? Like you had James Mangold post a picture of Swamp Thing and he retweeted it. So instantly you had a bunch of stories writing up that James Mangold is in the talks for the direct. Nothing indicates that. Nothing other than James Gunn retweeted a tweet. So there's a ton of this going on right now. And I'm just sitting here watching it all like it's a storm going on around me. And I'm just in this little bubble going, we haven't heard jack shit really. Like we've gotten an idea of what the next 10 projects are pretty much, but he's already said that there's stuff that he hasn't said that's coming out yet. We don't know what's going to change it. They even said flat out right up front that this stuff could change. So, and then there's the whole Elseworld thing, which makes no sense because David Zaslav himself said he didn't want, multiple things. He wanted one cohesive DC universe.
Well, actually, I think that that's something that Gunn may have been forced into by the simple fact that what was the first movie that was greenlit?
Creature Commando. Oh, under Zaslav, I don't know.
Yeah, under Zaslav. It was the first
Joker
DC
2
movie greenlit.
Joker 2, but that was just so they could get some money coming in.
Exactly, but it doesn't fit in with the other things. And then Pam Abdi and Michael DeLuca, they were able to get Constantine rolling, which is something that Keanu Reeves apparently has been asking
every
Warner
single year
for the last 10, 15 years or so. So are they really going to walk that back? No, so right there you have 2 movies that aren't part of anything else. And then maybe James Gunn wants to do Kingdom Come, and he can't fit it in with the other continuities. So maybe he wants a standalone thing as well. And of course, then there's the Batman debacle that I still don't understand what the hell they're doing, carrying on.
I see. I like the Batman. I'm not gonna rag on that. I'm happy with the Batman.
I will, because I fucking hate it.
No, but I think it's going to be confusing as hell for people. The normies are not going to understand why there's 2 different Batman.
Yeah, because now we're still in it. Because then James Gunn said there's not going to be like 3 different Batman.
No, that was Zaslav who said that.
Okay. Well, I think what's important to note is that the Batman comes out in 2025, right? Batman Part 2 is out in 2025. Batman Brave and Bold doesn't come out until God knows when. Batman Part 2 might actually be the final Batman film. We haven't considered that.
Well, actually, I have considered things to that end, and that's what I've been saying is a lot of these upcoming projects, most of them will be out before Superman outside of the Batman, right? A lot of this stuff will be done and said and over with way before then. Even Peacemaker 2 could have another season before then, potentially. Even though there was some wording in something he said that almost made it sound like Peacemaker 2 was getting sacrificed for Waller. But
that's what it sounded like to me. My interpretation, I could be wrong, but my interpretation after listening to it again is that after The Flash, then we still have Amanda Waller coming, and we have this other animated Peacemaker-esque thing coming. But then there's not going to be any Peacemaker season 2, because after that they're going to reboot the whole thing. So that ends all things Peacemaker and stuff like that. It's just that those things were already in development. So that's kind of coming. The Gunn stuff that was in development before he became the head of DC Studios, the stuff that he was developing for the post-Snyderverse, let's call it that. All of that is still coming. It still has to be released, and it's going to be released after The Flash. So that's why he's saying, well, the Flash changes some things, but it doesn't change the things that are still coming out, which are all my things. So that all stays. And then, of course, comes 2025, and then that too disappears.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he said there's not going to be a Peacemaker season 2, because then that whole universe storyline is all over.
To be clear, though,
with Waller.
We only have so much context there out of that quote. That's what pisses me off, and that's why I want this entire press conference.
That would have been nice.
Well, I think Waller is just part of the DCU. Like, I think that's there. I think Peacemaker is probably just going to be part of the DCU. I think there are certain things that will just, that's it.
When you say DCU, do you mean like the Gunverse going forward?
Yeah, that's what he called it, the DCU. No, but I think his statement of basically saying, yeah, like some of it's a distant memory. Like, I think unless they use Superman as the linchpin for other things happening, I don't know. Like, it still seems a bit of a mess, though.
Well, let's look at it this way, too.
Nothing actually clarified, is there? Here, he was all will be revealed with my slate. It's just added confusion. More.
Like, Mexican Iron Man was upset when we revealed this to him because he's like, I don't see any of the main big guns here. And I'm like, no, wait a minute, stop, time out. They're all here. I'm like, we're not even looking at this right. We got Superman right off the bat, right? Themyscira series, that's probably setting up Wonder Woman. I mean, sure, they're kind of bouncing around whether Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I will have to wait and see how that series starts out. It could be a completely reestablishing Wonder Woman's background and setting up completely new Wonder Woman. And then you got Batman Brave and the Bold. We're getting a brand new Batman there. So right there's the Trinity, basically. I mean, sure, we may not be getting Wonder Woman proper, but I think they're setting her up. Nowhere in there's Flash, Aquaman, Suicide Squad, anything that would be related to anything that's been done before or gun-related. So to me, it looks like a pure reset. But again, we're speculating here, which is exactly what they want us to do.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. Paulie, you've remained awfully quiet. Good stuff.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, just taking it in. I had brought up, like, what is happening with Sasha Calle? Are they going to bring her in this new Supergirl film? And if not, are they going to cut her out of the Flash because the Flash is happening?
No, she'll still be in it.
Right. So I was just kind of right now snooping around Sasha's social, and that's all. Just kind of looking at it.
So you missed the part where I said about how he didn't know whether she was going to be in it in the future.
Well, listen, no, I didn't. It's just kind of right now, like this past couple of days, everyone's kind of saying the same thing. So you know, everyone's got the same questions.
Well, they're saying a lot of things. They're saying the same things, but not saying anything, basically.
But not saying anything. And then again, the only other thing I said the other day is no talk of the Penguin, which kind of strange.
Oh, the series. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty big.
A mission, considering that it's shooting right now.
Well, is it though? Because
last we heard it was.
Yeah.
Well, no. What I mean is it a bigger mission though? Because they didn't officially reveal the Batman release date in the slate. They also didn't do that about the Joker on the slate. They were specifically talking about the newer stuff. I don't think that's a bigger mission actually, if you think about it in that context. I think that's okay.
Right. We did learn about the Batman 2 outside of that.
I think he's keeping it separate, not trying to confuse the plebs, as it were.
Well, the Batman 2 was announced, I believe, in the press conference, but they only mentioned it once in the big announcement video they dropped, and that was just in the Elseworld thing. Sorry, Paul.
No, I'm just curious to see, especially with this Oscar run and the award season still going on, like if they're going to tap into that and make any announcements in regards to Colin Farrell and the Penguin, because he's such a hot ticket right now. I'm surprised that they haven't, just to build better kind of rapport with their audiences. Because they got a lot of damage. They're doing a lot of damage control. So just thoughts. Nothing really.
And has it been confirmed that Batfleck is out? Because there were rumors going around that he was still in.
It's about as confirmed as you can get outside of one of them coming out and flat out saying it at this point, basically.
Okay.
No, I think that was absolutely confirmed, because he's gonna. Because he.
I don't remember seeing anything.
James Gunn said he's met him for directing role. That was it. It wasn't for.
That's my point. He didn't specify anything else one way or the other. He said, we've talked to Ben, and it's been about possibly directing a project or something like that. That was basically all he said. So.
Yeah, I think it's all but confirmed. I don't know. I'd say
that's what I was going to say. He was one of the earliest ones where he's flat out said that he was out.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. The only people who have said anything about themselves being out have been themselves, right? Yeah. Henry Cavill, The Rock, Zachary Levi, kind of wishy-washy. We had Gal Gadot's statement, but that one was very cryptic, right? And notice what they said. They said, we didn't fire Gal, or we didn't let Gal go. That isn't saying that Gal's not there. That's not saying she is there. That could be Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi said, adios, mi amigo. They're just the same thing with the Henry Cavill thing, because they got confronted about that, and they're like, we never hired Henry. We had nothing to do with that. So
that would be really quick. Adios, amiga.
Amiga, I'm so sorry, Paulie.
It's still
you
gendered.
You are correct. I apologize.
Until the Wokosos get at it,
You are correct. I apologize. I humbly apologize.
Never let that happen. So yeah, very important.
Please.
No, amiga.
Mi amigo. I apologize.
Adios, amiga.
Amiga. Adios, amiga. Yes.
No Amigex. Hell
no.
Hell no. Oh God.
That sounds like some alien creature from Star Trek or something. The Amigex are coming and we can't stop them.
It just sounds like they're
coming from Hollywood.
Sounds like the next gen Amiga.
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the Amiga X.
It does, doesn't it? All right. Well,
Amiga CD32X.
Oh dear. Right. Well,
CD could stand for cross-dressing. Andre, careful.
Oh yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Well, we got this. So Gary for £5. So thanks for the super chat, Gary. Says James Gunn's version of the Weasel character is in Creature Commandos, and that is true. So that's a layover from the Suicide Squad.
But right? I think that was his secret project he was talking about before he was even president of DC Studios.
Yeah,
it would have to be because of the time to finish all the episodes. He said it's all done, isn't it? So that would make sense. Well, I think we can shuffle on now anyway. I mean, it's not. What else is there really to say on that now?
Did Nick have anything more to say? Because he's been quiet too.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I was just curious on the Ben Affleck situation, because like I said, I hadn't heard anything official or anything. And then of course I said that it just, to me, from the things being said and news coming out, it seems like they don't really 100% know what they're doing here, and just kind of figuring it out.
I think they know. They just wanted to seem like that. We first heard rumors that Affleck was back as Batman for 3 movies, and that probably was the intention at the time when we heard it. But then the intention changed.
Yeah, because before James Gunn came into the picture, that's what I was hearing, is that basically Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi were trying to find a way to hang on to the main 3, at least, or 4 actually, if you count Momoa. Ezra was up in the air. They were already looking at other people and so on and so forth. But at that point, they wanted to do like a soft reboot. At least they were thinking that's what they could do and keep these actors and not have to reestablish everything. But of course, James Gunn, being a visionary himself, I could see him not wanting that baggage, but we'll have to see how it goes forward again.
This whole DCEU thing has just been a mess from the get-go for me.
Well, and that's the problem, is there never really was an official DCEU. That was part of the problem. There never was a DC Studios. There never really was a true steward to oversee it all. I mean, we had, 5 different people run the DC universe in the past 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, people will say that it was Snyder, and then they took it from him, which is in part true.
It's not untrue,
to
but
a
yeah.
degree. But yeah, like, I mean, it has been an unmitigated disaster. I mean, we've had a slate like this revealed to us before.
Yes.
I mean, it never happened. Like, barely any
This
of
is
it
true.
happened. So,
No, this late.
you know.
That slate. That was like DC's phase 1, and it ended with Cyborg in 2020.
Yeah.
Basically, it should have ended 3 years ago. The original slate that never happened.
Yep. Funny.
It's good to keep that in mind. You're right, Nate.
Yeah, but let's speaking of the Flash and DC, that is actually going to be one of the great segue there. That was just epic. Not. I might as well just hold up my sourdough starter as a segue instead. Moving on. That is legitimately sourdough starter. Anyway, so the Flash is going to be at the Super Bowl. We knew this anyway, but I mean, they're spending, I don't know, like about $10 million on that, an extra $10 million just to play a trailer. So this is the rundown of all the trailers they're going to be at the Super Bowl, which is a pretty prized prime time event. There's some which are actually quite surprising in this.
Well, the bigger deal is that Hollywood has returned to the Super Bowl because it's been kind of a dearth for trailers the last few years at the Super Bowl.
Well,
they'll give you a little teaser trailer, and then they'll go online to see the full trailer.
Yeah, well, they say that they think that this year's domestic box office will rise to about $9 billion, which is pretty good. Pretty good, to be fair.
Considering estimates were that it would be 2024 to 25 before the box office even got back to normal. Yeah.
So there's obviously a whole bunch of ones which are going to be here, right? So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We kind of expected that. That'll be their final trailer, I'd imagine. Because that comes out February 14th. So that'll be their big final trailer. One would imagine. I think it's February 14th anyway. But it's so much money, $7 million for a 30-second spot. $7 million for 30 seconds.
Well, that's why it costs as much to advertise the movie, especially these big budget ones, as it costs to make them.
Yeah.
You're close. I think it's February 17th it comes out, but yeah.
Oh, what's coming out February 14th then?
Well, that's like a Tuesday.
There is something coming out.
Is that Valentine's Day?
That's Valentine's Day, and then the 15th is Wednesday.
Wrong.
I mean, if you have like a screening for it, maybe early, that might be a possibility.
What?
Some countries may be opening up sooner. That too, I don't know.
No, I got confused. It is February 17th. Yes, I don't. My brain just mashed up a number. Sorry.
It's all right, man.
But yeah, so 12 to 17th. That'll be their final trailer. They'd be spending big bucks on Ant-Man then. Like massive dollars.
Well, what else do they have this year besides Guardians?
Yeah.
That's true. What else did they have? What else does Disney have this year, Marvel-wise? Is that it?
Marvel?
Yeah. Is that it?
I'm looking.
2 Marvel movies this year.
I'm looking. I think that's it. That actually might be good for them.
They have Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvels, and Ant-Man. So that's 3.
Oh, the Marvels.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the Marvels, though. That's the problem.
But,
that's a Disney Plus show, right? Or is that
no? That's going to be a movie.
Miss Marvel.
That's technically Captain Marvel 2.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. I'll be
that's
skipping
July 28th.
It's basically the Captain Marvel 2, in which Captain Marvel's role is reduced and taken over by the daughter of the black chick from Captain Marvel 1 that we also saw in WandaVision.
Rambo.
Yeah, exactly. Plus,
and Ironheart's in it too, isn't she? Isn't Ironheart in it too?
Might as well. It's going to suck so bad. So.
Ugh.
Oh, we got a Kraven the Hunter, October 6th.
That's Sony. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's still Marvel.
So that's it's Venomverse.
Yes.
Venomverse.
But
it's a different universe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they actually have the guy who played Quicksilver. Actually, the funny part is Paulie, is Aaron Taylor Johnson's playing him. So yeah. It's got to be a multiverse thing.
Yeah. So anyway, so we Warner Brothers is coming back to the Super Bowl with The Flash, so they'll be spending mega money.
But I thought they didn't have any money, Nate.
Well, I mean, they are in debt though. They are in like 50.
They are, but I'm talking about like the people who are like trying to say that they only have enough money to release 3 more movies this year. It's like,
well, they got the tax write-off from Batgirl, so they can spend money right now here in the Super Bowl.
No, there was this stupid story of people who didn't understand this whole thing when they heard that Zaslav had to come up with $3 billion in synergies. So they were like going around running these stories and headlines that Warner Brothers only had enough money to release 3 movies for the rest of the year. That's why they're cutting all those movies. And like, they don't understand how the movie business works, do they? Who let these articles out? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, yeah.
Goodness me.
I don't even understand half that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to sit there and go, wait. No, that's not how the movie business works. Like, if they were that in debt, the studio would be closed.
Yeah. Well, James Gunn's obviously said, like, you know, it's probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Bollocks. I just call massive hairy bollocks on that, quite frankly. But we'll see. I have heard good things from my sources. They've said it is a good movie. They've not said anywhere near as the greatest superhero movie ever made, but sure. Fast X is going to be there. So Fast X is the Fast and Furious franchise is one of those weird franchises that always randomly makes like a ton of cash.
God, yeah, it makes so much money.
Internationally, they're still huge.
I still haven't seen the last one that came out.
No, neither.
The Fast and the Furious franchise is a lot like the Transformer franchise. In the U.S., it's kind of it does pretty well still. It's outside of the U.S. where it does very, very, very well, especially when you got all these movie stars in it.
I've only seen the first couple. I've
never even seen the first one all the way through.
I haven't seen a single one of them.
Oh, good for you, Andre.
The first one wasn't bad.
The early ones were much more serious, right? Yeah. Like much more serious in tone.
Yes, Paul Walker.
They were.
It was more grounded in reality. The story.
Yeah.
These are now just hyper silly. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I went from grounded to Carfu to literally being in fucking space.
Yeah.
So like,
they're now superhero movies.
Yes, they are. Like my kid, because my kid who loves these things, I've never watched them, but he said the same thing. He's like, they basically turned into superhero movies. He said,
"Yeah,
there you go."
So interestingly, I think it looks like they might do the Super Mario Brothers movie at the Super Bowl.
No surprise.
Okay, so what do we have so far? So we have Flash, Fast X, Mario.
So Flash and Fast X. I think, well,
Ant-Man.
Universal is
Anti-Man.
It's Ant and Quantum. Ant-Man.
I like Anti-Man better. That's probably more accurate.
Oh, God.
So Universal is definitely doing Fast X on the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's already got 2 spots into the campaign for the Easter weekend of April 7th release of Illumination Super Mario Bros. So maybe Mario won't be there. However, Universal is going to do a 15-second pre-game spot for Elizabeth Banks' Cocaine Bear.
That's a good idea.
That's
a good idea.
Yeah,
that's their audience. That's their audience.
Exactly what Paulie just said.
That's their audience. That's the smartest thing Elizabeth Banks has ever done. I don't know.
She's behind that. It might have been the marketing department.
Right.
But that's
all the guys with beers, and chips and drinking, see,
they're going to think it's a joke at first.
What? Yeah.
Cocaine, what?
Hilarious. Yeah. So
where's the trailers get the best reaction in the theaters when we have gone the last couple of months.
Well, it's just funny, isn't it? Like, I can't wait to watch that movie. Like, I'm under no illusions. Like, it's not going to be a good film, but it's going to be entertaining. And by that metric, it will do exactly what it needs to do to get my money. Like, I don't need it to be a good film. I just need it to be entertaining and fun.
And like Tom said, this is the Super Bowl. It's like you can't think of a better movie than Cocaine Bear. I would say that more than and Fast X or whatever, Fast whatever.
Yeah.
Those seem to,
Yeah, but most people who are interested in the Fast and Furious already know that's coming. But you're right, Paulie. For those who are the normie guys, the people that don't know about Cocaine Bear yet, this is going to be the moment they first hear about it, and being the way that the Super Bowl is, you're going to have a ton of people going, is this thing fucking real? And they're going to be picking up their phones. And after that 15-second bit plays, you're going to have an influx of people on Internet Movie Database checking to see if this is a real movie or not.
Well,
I guarantee you.
And let's be clear too. Another thing we do here, which has kind of become part of the culture, is we grade all the commercials, all the new commercials during the Super Bowl. We really don't pay attention to the game that much. That the people who are not into football football fans. We're there for the parties and to watch these commercials. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Super Bowl is the only thing I know of where people are there for the commercials more so than anything else.
Which is sad, really, when you look at it from that perspective. But all right. Disney is actually be paying a lot of money at the Super Bowl. So it's not just Ant-Man and the Wasp. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be there as well.
So that's potentially our second trailer for that then, huh?
Well, yeah. And The Little Mermaid. Pixar's Elemental. But how is Pixar? Pixar shouldn't be at the fine, whatever. It shouldn't be there. I don't think The Little Mermaid should be at the Super Bowl either. The weird audience for that, but maybe I'm wrong. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, that's going to be there. And also the Marvels. So that's
really?
Mega
the Marvels?
Money there. Yeah, it's mega.
We're going to get a Marvels trailer.
Okay, to answer your question, Nate, on why is Pixar and Little Mermaid there, that's there not for the actual audience. That's to let the parents know that
right. There's some kids movies coming out for you guys.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because it is also too a huge family event as far as the Super Bowl barbecues and parties. You're absolutely right. Huge, and Hollywood is banking on it like they never have before. I've been thinking about this, and I'll save my thoughts, but let's keep going.
Well, just to kind of answer, like Nate was kind of like curious of how this is such a big deal. Here's why. Because usually you have these two teams. There's only 2 states that give a shit usually about those 2 teams. So what you have then is this celebration around it. It's like a holiday, okay? It's become its own holiday. And so it also coincides with not just movie trailers are part of the fun, but it's the other commercials. These companies, this is where they spend their big money on their commercials for the year. And you'll get movie stars and all kinds of stuff. And they'll have even like running gags through some of the commercials and stuff. So it is almost like its own thing. And that's what Paulie's trying to explain to you is it's almost like its own holiday in a sense. And that's how they get the rest of the family involved, is because mom don't give a shit if the Chargers are playing or not. All she gives a shit about is whatever she's cooking for the deal. Well, the commercials then are there to also entice the other people to watch. And this is how they generally launch a lot of new products and stuff for the year too, because it's the biggest audience. It's the first thing you have where you actually have this huge audience watching it, and it's one of the few things we have now that still has a unifying audience, because people have scattered so much because of streaming.
And also too, it's probably the only huge sporting event that non-sports people, Hollywood people, movie people, either the Bocosos or whatever, that they'll go. Something that might be like secretive fans, like you said, if they're from Philly, I don't know what, whoever.
Right.
But they're there for the parties, and they'll this will be on in the background. But then they all stop and watch that commercial. They'll watch this. They'll watch that. You remember last year when this came out, we were coming back from a little trip. I'm talking about Super Bowl last year. And I remember wanting to see the Rings of Power. Remember, it was the first teaser.
That was their debut of that. That's right.
That was the debut. And I was like, oh boy. Anyways.
And we see how well that worked out for Amazon.
What are you talking about? It was a phenomenal global hit. Just like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Well, figures have come out for that. It's not as good as... proven to now be not as good as what
No, I got the Disney Plus email notification that Black Panther 2 is now on Disney Plus, and
they're doing adverts for it. They're doing adverts
huge
for
adverts
it on YouTube. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, So Paramount is bringing a lot, actually. So Scream 6 is going to be. They're going to have a spot for Scream 6, which I think is fair. I think that's good. I think that's a good.
That's smart.
I didn't like Scream 5 personally.
I didn't either.
I think fine. I think it is a good choice for them doing that there. I think it's a good audience for it. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I think that's a good audience for that film as well. Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Speaking of the beasts,
I don't really see that, but okay.
Well, this is their last chance with the Transformers here, if you think about it.
No, I think Transformers is going to be a huge thing with the Super Bowl.
You think?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because they're going to really hit the urban slant of the film, and that ties in with a lot of football fans.
Urban
slant. Yeah.
The urban slant, is that your rap name? Paulie from the Latino slant on the urban slant.
It's the urban slant.
No, I leave that to Tom. I'm so heavy, my head.
No, I'm more like the rural slant.
You're the rural. You're the
slant. There won't be a Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning trailer apparently.
Kind of surprised on that. Ooh. Yeah.
So Amazon and MGM and Lionsgate wouldn't comment on their Super Bowl plans. However, Deadline speculates that they could have one for Lord of the Rings series.
They don't have anything ready for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
They had one for last year.
Okay.
But there might be so Creed 3.
Yeah.
John Wick 4. Well, what could they have? What could Amazon and MGM have?
That would be Creed 3.
Creed 3? That's going to be huge.
Yeah. Is that United Artists?
It's United Artists, MGM, yeah. Otherwise, I bet you they'll probably... I imagine Amazon has like a series or something they'll probably do an advertisement for.
Apparently Sony...
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something for John Wick 4 at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
That'd be another good audience to showcase that off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also only a month.
See, here's another thing, Nate, and it speaks to every, like Nick, myself, and Tom. We're from three areas of the states, very different.
Urban slant.
But stop it. But but you notice how we all got excited about certain things that are going to be at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
true.
It's huge. It's the biggest thing.
The biggest sporting event in the U.S.
Well, and I was trying to ask Paulie who actually is showing the game this year, because that could very well, because that's the thing is if it's ABC, then that means they could have some kind of Disney tie-in wraparound shit. You never know. If it's like CBS, they could have some Paramount wraparound stuff. Like they'll have Transformers all over that shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it all depends.
It is Kansas City versus the Eagles.
Yep. February 12th at 5.
It's usually on CBS or ABC. I thought they flip-flop, but I can't remember. Oh, it's on Fox. Okay, that's right. Fox.
Oh, it's on Fox.
Okay, so it's going to be nobody's game. They're going to have to buy Fox's love.
Nice.
Yeah, because they didn't, when they bought 20th Century Fox, they didn't get the TV or sports
The
side,
networks
right?
are separate. That's why they took the Fox out of the channel. I thought they should have argued for the Fox to keep it, but no. They let it go gladly because they're like, oh, it's too associated with Fox News. I'm like, are you kidding? It's associated with 100 years of film.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Goodness me. All right.
Disney.
So they let them guys have the Fox name. Yeah. And they kept 20th Century part of it.
Ugh. Super dumb. Super dumb. Right. Well, we do have a few more. Super chats. We've got a super sticker from Al Humphreys. Keep it up. Thank you so much, dude. We also had from Gary, which is just now, another £5 super chat. It says, would you like Swamp Thing to be CGI, like Man Thing, or practical, like the cancelled Swamp Thing show? I think, for me personally, I don't think comparing it to the show is the right way to go about it, mainly just because they could do practical effects without the comparison, basically make it better. But do I want it practical effects, just practical effects in general? Yeah, I'd like a blend. So CGI always works best when it's rendered over the top to accentuate practical effects. So if they're smart, they do a blend, practical plus CGI render just to accentuate certain bits and pieces. I think that would work very, very well. I think it'd be great. That's what I want. But yeah, Andre, you've been quiet for
I
a little
agree
while.
with you
What do you think?
completely. Practical effects augmented with CGI. I mean, we've seen that, for instance, with the new Cenobites in the Hellraiser remake. Worked fantastic. I mean, that's how you want to do it. So I sincerely hope it'll be that practical augmented.
And Tom?
I'm going to go a little bit more leaning towards practical. I'm one of those that if you can do it I feel like they're a little bit more lazy than they should be sometimes. There's a lot of times practical can do just as well. The only times I think CG should be used is when there's no alternative, when it just isn't working in a practical sense, or you can't do a camera trick. Because 9 times out of 10, I've seen so many CGI shots that I'm just like, you could have done that practically. There's no real reason you had to use CGI. But to what Andre just said, it's getting better. The augmentation is getting so much better with like the tracking and other things that are going on now. Like you can do stuff with your phone that's amazing now compared to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if it's needed and it works, go for it. But Swamp Thing, I keep calling it Man Thing for some reason. Swamp Thing is one of those characters to where I really don't see any reason why you should go any more CGI than you absolutely have to. It's a fairly easy costume to build. I mean, not easy, but like to recreate in live action. I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult.
Yeah. And Paulie?
He stepped away, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's back.
I'm back. ¿Qué pasó?
The super chat on screen.
Question: would you like Swamp Thing to be CGI like Man Thing or practical like the cancelled Swamp Thing show?
What Andre said.
Oh, there you go.
So what? Agreed with me then.
No, I agree with Andre. I also like the old one, the old school one. That was kind of pretty cool. Remember?
Yeah.
Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah, the Wes Craven one.
Yep.
Wes Craven. Yeah.
Yeah, many people don't realize that Wes Craven did Swamp Thing. It's just not so good because he did it before Alan Moore's seminal run.
Not only that, he did it just to pay the bills.
Yeah, that too.
There is that, yeah. Okay, cool. So I've got a bit of a curveball just thrown in here real quick as our next topic. Because this has just dropped, basically.
Yeah, this is weird.
Disney as a whole says this, that Nelson Peltz on board would threaten strategic management at crucial time as proxy battle boils. What? So Disney have just said this, have they?
I can tell you.
Give us a rundown on this?
Yes, I can tell you exactly what this is about. This is the latest development of a video that we dropped only last week, actually. And this is something that also has been covered pretty extensively by Valiant Renegade, DW Pro, and Mike the Mexican Iron Man. Basically, this is the battle for the soul of Disney. And it all dates back to the sudden middle-of-the-night ouster of one Bob Chapek and the takeover of Bob Iger and all of his cronies. Because Bob Iger, he also installed his own man as the new head of, or the new chairman of the board. And that's when you got China back and everything, because he's another really pro-China guy. So then you have the Igers, basically, who are now completely in control over Disney with their corporate overlords, namely BlackRock and Vanguard, who are the biggest Disney shareholders. But they're not the only ones. You have a bunch of other shareholders as well that actually want to make some money on their Disney shares, because here's
No.
the thing, all
Company
of
wants
the
their
stuff
money.
that Iger does, like Vanguard and Blackguard, they're perfectly fine with it, but everyone else,
Yeah.
they actually wants to make money. And this Nelson Peltz, he is one of all those other shareholders who is in it for the money. And maybe, just maybe, there is something with values as well. I don't know too much about that, but apparently he is tight with Ike Perlmutter, who is also tight with Trump. So this guy is, by all indications, a conservative through and through. And he may not be too keen on what's being done to Disney from an ideological point of view. In addition to that, he's not too happy with how the audience is fleeing from Disney because of it as a shareholder. And he only became a shareholder recently. He became a shareholder this summer. He didn't have any shares in Disney before. That is something that he only acquired after speaking with Bob Chapek and Isaac Perlmutter about coming in, becoming a board member, and becoming an ally to Bob Chapek. And one of the things that Isaac Perlmutter said, and was published in Variety, was that unless they were able to get Nelson Peltz into the board and fast, Bob Iger and his cronies would return. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. But that doesn't mean that everyone is going to give completely up on Disney, because what this guy Nelson Peltz did since then, since Iger came back, he basically said, okay, I now have so many shares that I deserve a seat on the board. Give me a seat on the board. To which then Iger and his partners in crime said, no, we can't make any changes at the board at this time because Iger, he needs peace and quiet to be able to restructure Disney, in the exact same way that wasn't given to Bob Chapek. But Iger needs that peace and quiet. So now is not the time to make any changes to the board so that you suddenly can go and sabotage our woke policies. And then what he said after that is, okay, if you won't give me a piece on the board, then we are going to have a proxy battle here. Because what the proxy battle means in corporate terms is basically that Nelson Peltz, he is not going to go to Vanguard and BlackRock because he knows that they are Team Iger through and through. But he's going to go to everyone else. He is going to go to all of the, say, the Texas state funds and everything like that, who are also big into Disney. And he's going to have a presentation to them. And this presentation is called Restore the Magic, which he feels is gone from Disney right now. So that
he's not wrong, is he?
To be put onto the Disney board is specifically to restore the magic. So what he wants to do is then he wants to go to all of the other shareholders, gather as much support as he can, and that way be able to, in the next general meeting, have all these other major institutional shareholders who are in it for the money use their proxy votes to vote out sitting board members and vote him in instead. And then, as a board member, he may be able to offer some kind of resistance to Team Iger and the continued wokeification of Disney. That is what this is fundamentally about. And this thing here now in Deadline Hollywood, now I haven't read it yet because I just saw it. As you said, this is
it basically says everything you've just said.
But basically, from the gist of it, this looks like Disney's response. They're like just saying, "Everyone, please don't pay attention to this guy. We are with."
That's exactly what they're saying, Andre. I'm trying to find it. There's one that literally has the headline: Disney says, "Don't listen to Peltz."
I just made that up. I just made that up right now.
No. I'm trying to find it. I've been looking for it for the last 5 minutes while you're talking because I saw it earlier before we jumped on the show, and I've been trying to find it because the headline was like, "Oh, so they're saying listen to this motherfucker, aren't they?"
Yeah, they're
so
saying,
there's this here. So
don't listen. Yeah, basically they're saying there's nothing to see here. Move along. The magic is here, so don't listen to this guy that wants to restore the magic. Vote Iger and all of Iger's cronies. In the
they say here the Disney board of directors does not endorse Nelson Peltz or his son Matthew, who is running as an alternate. Mr. Peltz may swap in as a nominee and believes the election of either Mr. Peltz or his son would threaten the strategic management of Disney during a period of important change in the media landscape.
I found it.
Basically, it would threaten Iger's and BlackRock's and Vanguard's woke intention for Disney if he were to come.
Here it is. It's a Variety headline. It says, Disney board urges shareholders to ignore activist investor
Activist investor, they're rich saying that.
Yes, I know. I saw that before the show. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? This is hilarious.
Yeah,
that is.
Here it should be noted
as well.
But yeah, but activist investor. I see that people can miss on also in the video I put out. I also did a chapter on this very thing. Activist investor. To us, when we hear activist, it's a shorthand for crazy, deranged social justice warrior and other Marxists, right? But in the term of corporate finance, an activist investor is actually the name assigned to someone I just described. A shareholder who disagrees with the direction of the company and then uses their power as a shareholder to force the hand of the rest of the company by getting themselves onto the board. Very often, it's the first step in a hostile corporate takeover. I'm not saying that that's going to happen here. Don't get excited, because while the Trion Group, which is the fund entity that Nelson Peltz is the manager of, is big and powerful and rich, it's not rich enough to acquire Disney outright. So that's not going to happen. However, what he can do is threaten BlackRock, Vanguard's, and Bob Iger's chokehold on Disney. And that's why you're seeing these desperate headlines, because that's what this is. It's a desperate headline, because evidently this tells me that this is even being published, is that he is winning investors over with his restore the magic pitch. Otherwise, no need for this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to win investors over, because investors are there primarily to make money. It's only
when I say very shareholders, rather, but
oh yes, sorry, shareholders. There's very few shareholders that especially like board ones that are there with the money that don't need the company to earn money and are only there for social restructuring.
But that's the case with
everyone else. Exactly, but everyone else is like, give me some fucking money. Like this is a disaster. Give me some money.
Yeah.
So of course they're scared, because someone's coming in and just exposing them, literally just going, what? Why aren't you making these people money? Sorry, no, I want to make these people money.
And that's what everyone needs to understand. BlackRock and Vanguard, they are the two single biggest institutional shareholders. But from their point of view, Disney isn't an asset that's there to make them rich. It's a tool to disseminate their ESG messaging. And the S 100% ESG is the same thing as DEI, which is what they're pushing onto the public using Disney.
Yeah, it's funny you guys are talking about this, because I literally just got an email while you guys were having this discussion. Disney Plus limited time offer, $6.99. Join now.
Oh, Iger is desperate for some good numbers to put into his first presentation when he's back as the CEO.
He doesn't have good numbers.
Wait, Disney Plus?
Disney Plus right now.
That bastard, I'm paying $10.99 now.
Now there you go.
$6.99 a month if you join
you should
back
cancel.
up now.
Let them know how this.
I should cancel.
Yeah.
I just did my my bills earlier today, like everything I'm paying for January, and that was on there. I was like, I'm gonna cancel that. Thank you, Andre.
I was like, I'm gonna cancel and sign up with a new email, but I'm like, I don't even pay for it. It comes with my kid's phone. I don't have to.
I got it for free with Verizon, and then
that's why I got it for free. Yeah.
And then when I started work, my work took over my phone bill, so I didn't have it anymore, and I wasn't gonna give them any of my money. But I still get these emails from my new shows coming up and that sort of stuff. And now I just got this email. If you sign back up now, $6.99 a month. Join today. This is a limited time offer.
Wow. I can give you a limited time offer on Surfshark VPN. And although they do not endorse piracy, that doesn't mean you have to abide by their endorsement.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, speaking of like VPNs and streaming services, what an epic segue this is. Netflix. Come on. That was a great segue.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
Come on. Netflix unveils their plans to prevent password sharing. Right? Someone said something about Netflix backpedaling, but I can't find it. Anyone find anything updated about Netflix? Maybe
no,
backpedaling
I haven't.
on this thing.
But I do know some of the logistics of how it works. So I mean, I think some people are kind of panicking a bit, but it is something that's kind of a pain in the butt at the same time.
So yes, obviously the thing about Netflix is that you have multiple accounts, so it makes sense that one person has it and you can kind of share it across different houses and stuff, right? Like there's no issue with that. I don't really understand what the issue is. We know it's all about money. They just want more money. And so obviously Netflix is clamping down on this, which I think is a huge mistake, whilst they're also introducing like an ad-based subscription term as well. It's all in the effort to make money, because there was a big downturn when, regardless of what people said, but when basically a recession started to happen across the world, because of what happened the last few years, and it was primarily because of that. And so they're like, right, password sharing's gone now. Let's force people to either pay more so they can have a password sharing account, which is what they do in I think it's like South America and things like that. Or you have to just make your own new account. And so what they're doing is every 31 days, users must access the Netflix account using the Wi-Fi network at their principal location. How do you even know what the principal location is?
Oh, it's easy.
But just the one which is always
your
on,
ISP. Yeah, it's from your original ISP, wherever it originates from. That's what I'm saying. People, I think, are overthinking it. This basically means you just have to turn on your fucking Netflix at your house. That's all it really means. Yeah, and most people are already watching it there. The people that this is going to hurt the most are people who travel for a long period of time.
Yeah. I mean, over 31 days, right? Like that's it. It's done.
But so currently, as long as you're using the same things to access it, because you actually have registered things to use. Again, I don't see it being as much of a much of a problem as people.
Yeah, I don't see the problem here, to be honest. Yeah, okay, fine. It's going to suck for the 1,000 people worldwide who travel more than 31 days away from their home in a row. It's going to suck for those 1,000 people. For everyone else, it should be a complete non-issue.
Well, they say this anyway. So they say currently, devices that are not connected to the Netflix home or that seek to access an account outside of the subscriber's primary location for a lengthy period of time may need to be verified. So you could technically just verify a partner's
You just solved it for those 1,000 people as well. I fail to see the problem here.
Well, no. Well, it's more just the fact that it's just more. I mean, it's capitalism, isn't it? It's more money hungry.
Yeah.
They're sort of clamping down.
I don't blame them.
It's quite expensive as it is, to be fair. And it's not a good.
To be fair, I don't blame them, because you're right. Yeah, you can say that it is expensive, and I can see that point of view. But if you have a bunch of people where they get like one account, they share it across like 10 different households, well, that's 10 potential
That's what they're trying
subscriptions
to do.
that
Yeah.
Netflix lost out on. I don't blame them. I absolutely understand why they're doing this.
I was gonna say, if you want, you can allow me to be a little unpopular for a second, and I'll say, pay for your own fucking Netflix. It's not that expensive. A Netflix account is the same as a fucking Blu-ray. One Blu-ray or
How
DVD.
much is it though?
It's $20 a month. It's roughly
might be a
between
little bit
15 and 20 bucks a
more.
month. That's it. In the US. That's my point here. And sure, you share it with your couple of your family members, fine. But they're talking about you're sharing it with your friends, cousins, friend. This is the kind of shit that's getting to the point. It's like, look, it's not that fucking expensive. It's expensive, but it's not that expensive. And Netflix is the one thing that everybody has, and it's not going to really impede anybody's usage of it as long as they're within their main households and all that kind of business. What they're really just trying to stop is this, massive usage of it amongst, people just keep handing out the password to different people to the point where there's 30 fucking people on one account.
Okay, all right. Let's just stop. Let's just stop the discriminatory talk against my people. Mexican Americans share everything. All right. Yes, we're 10 to a house.
Paulie, that's what I was going to say. That's the difference. It doesn't matter.
15 to a car. Hey, you can join. Come on, I resemble that comment. Yes, we love sharing Netflix y todo, man. And now we got to do this thing. That's not fair, man. That's not right, man. Where's Mexican Iron Man?
Your immediate family in the household will be fine, Paulie.
I mean, not even that.
All your cousins are cool.
Well, we got the add-on to the houses in the back. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
See, they're all in the same facility using the Wi-Fi, so it don't matter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, I think I understand it. I get it. I don't massively blame them. It's a downturn. They're looking to accrue more money. This is off the back end of them also losing. It was like 2 million. It was 2 or 20 million subscribers. It was quite a big number.
There you have the real issue.
Yeah, but that was outside of their projections. Because people at the time said this is because of Russia. It wasn't. They'd already projected for that. This was an additional amount outside of what they'd already projected. So it was quite a lot. And I get it. They're obviously trying to recoup that. And as much as we all rag on Netflix, and they do, they produce some absolute shit. They really do. But they do produce some pretty decent stuff every now and then that is actually, worthwhile for the subscription. Wednesday, for instance, I'd say that was worth it for me for that, month that I had Netflix. More than worth it. More than worth my subscription fee.
Well, the kids all love it.
Oh no, honestly, Wednesday's pretty decent, man. Like, yeah. Wednesday's a pretty good show. I mean, Paulie will back me up on that. Wednesday's pretty decent. It's good. It's a good old time.
Well, the problem with this is that this is the one time I agree with Andre where, well, not that he's going around saying monopolies are amazing, but this is one time where he talks about a monopoly and it actually makes sense. Like, we never should have went away from Netflix. This is the studio's fault that this has all happened. And basically what they're doing is killing streaming in the process of it all. There was a story that was talking about this like a week or two ago that I sent to Andre, but like it's gotten to this point where, because that was the thing, was Netflix once was the central hub for everything, and it was lucrative for everybody at that point. Barely for Netflix, but very lucrative for the studios. Now Netflix is looking at it as they don't have the content that they used to have. That's what's killing their subscription base, right? And it's the same problem the studios are having, is they're now having to look at, well, we're going to have to start licensing our stuff out to the other subscribers. So basically every one of these services that you have now is going to become basically like another Netflix that's going to have all the other stuff on it, because they're going to have to start licensing stuff out to each other to make money. And it's going to start being a snake eating its own tail by the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if Andre wants to add to that or subtract from it,
well,
but basically,
just imagine back in like the VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray days, right? You had like one disc, one Blu-ray, one DVD, or one VHS that would fit any player because you had like one standardized format. Now, what you're having right now in streaming is the equivalent of you need one player to play Universal discs. You need another player to play Disney discs.
Yeah.
You need a third player to play Paramount discs, so on and so forth. That is what streaming has done. It's just caused the audiences to just throw their heads up in the air and decide, hell with it, and I'm going to go with piracy. And the irony is that the thing that really kind of like took care of the piracy issue was Netflix. In that very limited window, where Netflix was the go-to standard, where almost everyone had an agreement with Netflix, there was hardly any piracy. Piracy made a comeback the moment everyone and their mother wanted to make their own freaking streaming service and took their content away from Netflix, forcing consumers again to have a subscription to 20 different services to get everything. And then you're basically back to cable again.
I love that analogy, Andre. That is the perfect analogy for this whole mess. Like, yeah, it's like having a proprietary format for each studio now, and it's redonkulous.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like every single bloody month there was a time, where a new thing was coming out. It just became utterly ridiculous. And there is even a new thing coming out within a company itself that already had a streaming platform. I mean, you had DC, right? DC had its own streaming service, but they already had HBO. And it was like, what are you doing? And then we're like,
that made sense.
Like, we'll have HBO Max,
HBO Plus, HBO Minus, HBO Up, HBO Down, HBO Max, HBO Minimum. Like, you had so many different HBOs. It was completely pointless.
I think I know what happened there. Because we were talking about this the other night. I can't remember which show, but I kind of looked at it all, and I looked at it from the perspective of, because I think the plan always was to transform whatever streaming services HBO already had into HBO Max, which they did eventually. But what happened was, if you notice, is that was pre-Zasloff, and that was when everybody was still fighting with each other. And you notice we also had the CNN Plus thing that also got killed right away. I think it was those departments trying to prove that they are the big dog on the block. So they knew that those mini streaming services weren't going to last. But what they wanted to do is get a bigger piece of the pie once it all come down to it. And this is just my analogy of it all. I could be wrong, but Andre, from a business standpoint, do you understand what I'm saying? Or
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, like, if the DC service would have been a hit, or the CNN Plus would have been a hit, once HBO Max did suck everything up, then they would get a bigger piece of that pie.
Yeah. Oh dear, eh? Dear, oh dear, ladies and gents. We've got a super chat. Oh no, not a super chat. Sorry, Finbar White as a member for 24 months. Supporter level 1 says, would they do a Bond announcement at Super Bowl from MGM?
No,
because they've not cast or anything like that. So no, it's too close. Too close. I mean, that other film when he released last year?
Last year.
That? So yeah, it's too soon. Too soon.
I'm guessing we're a good 2-3 years.
Well, technically
out
the year before.
that.
You're right, Nate. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're years away, aren't we, Nick? Like it's.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's 2023 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary dropped in for £5. Says it's happening to video games. I love Doom, but I'm not buying an Xbox just to play an exclusive game when they make the next Doom. Yeah, I mean, that's the same, exactly the same kind of principle.
It's reminiscent of that kind of stuff.
Right? Yes. I honestly have to say I'm surprised that gamers have put up with like these console exclusive.
But they
honestly,
haven't really.
The Neo Geo kind of like had the right idea, because the idea there was like back in the 90s was that, okay, here we're going to deliver a platform, and then everyone can make games that are going to fit onto this. And imagine if that had gone out. You could buy a player from Sony, you could buy a player from Microsoft, from whoever, just as you can buy a DVD or Blu-ray from 20 different manufacturers, right? And they all play the same discs. Imagine if it was like that in gaming. I mean, gaming is huge already. Probably would have been even bigger if you had that kind of thing. It was like just one one standard that all games would play back on. You could still compete for content and everything. You just have like one standard format. And that is what streaming is. It's another format war. And it's a format war that's killing the format and sending everyone off to pay to see again.
And the thing with Microsoft and Xbox is you don't even need an Xbox console anymore, because most of every single game that's on there, if you have a PC, you can play on Game Pass on PC. You don't even need the Xbox hardware. For that guy, if he wants to play Doom, he can just play it on Xbox Game Pass.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as much as PC ports are not great, no console is as powerful as a PC.
Yeah.
At this point in time, they're just not.
Well, that's because what every console's challenging to do is be its own little PC, right?
Yeah, but they are not as powerful as a fully kitted out PC.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even when they come out brand new, they're not even not even half.
Time. Yeah, because the development time of it. I mean, technology moves so fast. There's a brand new high spec graphics card that comes out, so people just buy them, port them in.
Yep. The only time I could think of one that was overly advanced was the PS3, because they were literally using it in facilities in like NASA and the government because of its computing power.
Yeah.
Which was a proud tradition. Remember, there was a time in Iraq when the PlayStation 2 came out, when you couldn't get one because Hussein, he got every single one of them and dismantled them and took out their chips and put into rockets.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story back in the day.
That's crazy.
Good times.
God, I forgot all about that.
Good times.
Yeah.
That's gaming history.
So long ago. PS2.
And after that, that's kind of like when they had like this project where everyone could like bundle their PlayStation 2s together and help like cancer research, because together they would make out like a supercomputer. So PlayStation.
There's a video
killing whiteys, but it's also curing cancer.
I was just gonna say, there's your video. How the PS2 could have killed or saved you.
Yeah. It was either helping fight cancer, or it was in a rocket,
fighting a war.
Yep.
Goodness me. So quickly on the topic of Netflix, obviously their big heavy hitter was The Witcher. Now, obviously, they wrecked themselves by driving away the main star and the draw of that, which was, of course, Henry Cavill. And part of that was the showrunner, Lauren Hisrich, who has made a big song and dance about Andrzej Sapkowski being someone that she respects, someone that she thinks is great, loves the law. She basically thinks the sun shines out of this guy's ass. So you would think that this guy, and Lauren were somewhat tight, and maybe, Andre would like The Witcher. Well, this is someone who stayed very, very quiet on it, and he has come out and he was asked, and it is pretty damning, to be honest. He basically asked about the TV show, and his response was very short, very sweet. I've seen better, I've seen worse. Not exactly a stellar review, not exactly great. It's not exactly ripping at a new one, but I think there's a lot in what he's saying which he's not actually saying. Yeah. I mean, it's not good. It's not good to sit there and say, look, I've seen better and I've seen worse. It's a very much, we talk about those kind of political replies. I mean, it's kind of that, but he's still, Andre, you sound like you want to chime in there.
Yeah, I was kind of like, as far as political replies go, I mean, that's a bloodbath right there. I mean, you have to mop up the floor afterwards, because the guy's basically saying, like, keep in mind, this is someone, he is now talking about the show of Lauren Hisrich, the one who says that, I love this guy's books, I love the lore and everything. And then the show is something completely different. It's so bad that she chased away Henry Cavill. And this guy, Andrzej, because it's not Andre, it's like the equivalent, but like it's Polish. So they were able to mix a C in there somehow. But anyway, Andrzej then him saying that is,
Just say
from my point of
Sapkowski.
view, is pretty harsh criticism, all things considered.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, just imagine someone comes and they make a Mr. H the movie. Say, we are such huge fans of Mr. H. We love him. We've studied all his dream and everything, and now we're making Mr. H the movie. And then there's your review. Neither good nor bad. I mean, that would hardly be a ringing endorsement.
Well, and speaking of spin, like earlier we were talking about with the whole James Gunn thing, think of how various media sources would spin you just saying that. Neither good nor bad, you know. Yeah. It was all right, you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
creator ambivalent to the
yeah. That may have been a bad example because Mr. H would say straight out that fucking sucked.
Right.
But fine, say it was me then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not exactly a stellar review. It's pretty damning. And more so because of the commentary by Lauren. I think it's more damning because of what Lauren has been saying.
Exactly.
Because she's so open and, you know, freely sort of discusses as if they're all buddy. So, yeah, pretty bad. Like it's pretty killer there, to be honest. I mean, Nick, do you want to chime in on this one?
Sorry, I was responding to a work email. What were you guys talking about? I just missed like the last 2 or 3 minutes.
So the original writer of The Witcher has been asked what he thought of the TV show, and he says, "I've seen better and I've seen worse." Very much,
the original writer, not the one who's involved with the show now.
Nope, Sapkowski.
It seems like political nice way of not saying that the show sucks.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, it's worse than that, I think. Like, it's very much like I mean, it's shit, but I can't really say it's shit. So,
well, there's that side of it. Or, well, at least I get paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Is he still
getting paid? Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure.
Yeah, I have to be getting paychecks for this. Like,
absolutely.
That's what I like. You know, I love John Carpenter. Whenever they ask him about a remake, he's like, "This is how I participate in the remakes. I put my hand out, and they put a check in it, and then I go home and I smoke some dope and I watch a movie."
Oh yeah,
Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Except for Halloween, he did, of course, do the music and stuff like that. But yeah. Otherwise, normally that's what he says. He has. I have zero input and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't think he's gonna. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought that was a funny little comment from the author. I mean, Paulie, what do you think about all of this?
Oh man, it's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment. I mean, that's you know, if I was them, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not good.
Well, can you imagine
royalty fee for them for destroying his work? Yeah.
And to paying the guy, correct?
Yeah,
nothing they can do.
Can you imagine the next time Lauren steps out to do an interview? I mean, that's literally all she's going to be asked, isn't it? She's literally just going to be asked, "So, what did you think of Andrei Sapkowski?" Because Andrei will kill me for butchering the name. What did you think of Sapkowski's comments on your work? Huh? What do you think? Like, that's literally going to be the soundbite now for any interview she does, which is like, she can't be looking forward to that.
Actual interview.
Is that same clown that was outside of their office, like doing those photos?
Yeah, same clown.
They're getting what they deserve.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're now going through various degrees of just, you know, like from decent to just horrible IP adaptations, right? Reimagine, whatever you want to call them. I mean, yeah, that might be a good list to create. Like, which have been, what are the all-time worst ones? You know, like just keep because they kind of keep topping each other.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Velma and the Witcher. I mean, those are, I don't know. Anyways.
Well, I meant to say something actually when we were talking about Batgirl, right? Because Batgirl, the
Better watch
Safran,
it. That's my girlfriend.
Safran came out. Oh, I don't give a shit. Safran came out and was like, "Oh, it was unreleasable. It would have hurt DC." I was thinking to myself, and loads of people commented as well, and they're completely right. It's like, if it was unreleasable, what the fuck is Velma then? Like, what are you doing?
Actually, I can answer that. I can answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Yeah, but Paulie, you go ahead first.
No, please go ahead. I want to hear this.
The reason why Velma was releasable while Batgirl was not is that Velma is its own standalone thing, and it doesn't really hurt anything else. Whereas this was pre-Gunn, but after David Zaslav had come in, and David Zaslav had already made it clear that DC, that was the jewel in the whole Warner collection. This is their Marvel. This is the thing that is supposed to pay for all of their other mistakes and fund everything else they do. Whereas Batgirl, and it's not about Batgirl, the cast, or anything else, but rather it was what I heard is that it was with the intention of the whole movie. Batgirl was the movie which solidified the removal of Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman, and really established that the new DC Trinity for going forward is Batgirl, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman. It's the movie that would establish the DCU. Just the same as you have the MCU, that was going to be the DCU. It was so woke that there was no salvaging it. It was the last administration's path of going into hyper politicness, and it was going to completely destroy the brand. And for that reason, that movie was unreleasable. So they had to so they scrapped that which was filming. They scrapped Supergirl, which was coming after that and gearing up for production, and then they went back and they retro engineered the Flash to try to go for their new direction, which they were planning before Gunn. Of course, with Gunn came the reboot, so then all of that changed. But that was when they started changing the movie. That's when they brought back Ben Affleck and everything like that. Because then they had like a plan of, we're going to fix everything the way that it is, and we're going to now use the Flash as the fixing point. But then, of course, you can't have Batgirl, because Batgirl just establishes the previous direction, which would have sent everything to hell and destroyed DC in a handbasket.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why. Yeah, you're all right. Like, a brand is completely different, isn't it? So
exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. Well, I've got another person that's sort of ruined their brand. Oh, my segues are awful today. But Eva Green, humiliated after private WhatsApp messages are exposed in court. Now, I didn't actually know anything. I didn't know that this was going on until I saw this. Eva Green is in court fighting, essentially a production company for a movie. The movie dissolved. She thinks she's owed like $1 million fee, and they're countersuing for. We'll get into it, but basically, like, they're countersuing, and as a result of that, everything's coming out in court. And she said some pretty nasty things about like pretty normal people. So, as a bit of background, essentially, she was in the witness stand at London's High Court for a second day on Tuesday as part of her lawsuit against White Lantern Limited. She's taken legal action against the company over a film called A Patriot, in which she was due to star as a soldier before the project collapsed in 2019, having failed to secure production finance. Green claims that under her pay-or-play contract, she still owed $1 million fee, and White Lantern, together with finance company Sherborne Media Finance, are defending the claim and countersuing the actor for conspiracy, deceit, and unlawful interference. They claim she repudiated her contract and undermined the production, causing it to collapse in order to buy out the script and make the film herself, which is a pretty bold claim, to be fair. It's obviously why lots of stuff is coming out in court. So, as part of the discovery process, numerous communications between Green and other individuals, including her agent, Charles Collier of Tavistock Wood, and the film's writer and director, Dan Pringle, were disclosed, in which Green admits she was very direct. Among them are missives in which Green calls Sherborne arseholes and sad little people, and describes one of the producers on the project, Jake Seal, as evil and the devil. Very dramatic, these actors, of course. She also, this is the thing which annoyed me, she also referred to the crew at production facility Blackhanger Studios, just production crew, as shitty peasants.
I kind of wish that she had said filthy pleb, because that basically
the Hollywood elite up on their pedestals, looking down at all of us little peasants down here.
Yeah,
I just want to say, she gets a pass with me. I don't give a shit.
She was great in 300 Rise of the Empire.
Of course it is.
She gets a pass with me. That's all I'm saying.
Disgusting.
She can call me all those words. Anything she wants to call me.
Yeah, I bet she can.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Anyway,
I love you, Ava.
Here's the funny thing, though. This is also what she feels about the audience. Right? She looks down upon them. They're shitty peasants. We're all shitty peasants in her eyes.
Yeah, this is the thing. She's saying that about everyone.
Andre, why are you trying to kill my vibe, man?
She's obviously a terrible
I'm not
person.
killing your vibe. I'm killing yours. You keep your
But
vibe.
like Paulie, that wouldn't really stop me for doing other things with her.
All I can say is at least we have memories, Ava.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway. So on Monday,
it's like where that's not where I was trying to take this article.
It's definitely I didn't want you guys simping out.
I respect her for her acting. I really respect her.
I respect her for her commitment in The Dreamers. I will give her that.
Yeah.
Like she went all the way there, and good for her. But this only goes to show that
full on. She went full on
with actors and some other people. It's like it's better if we don't see their real person, because then we see that it's actually a really shitty person sometimes.
Well, that's why Twitter's the worst thing for actors, because it just exposes them as one, complete idiots, and two, arseholes.
Yeah, of course, those that are, and that's not the case. Like, there's plenty of actors who are really, really fine people.
Of course,
and they're not the ones who expose themselves on Twitter and everything. But then you have the ones that do, and that's what we have here.
Yeah, and in fact, with Ava, I respect her more when she's not talking. Just saying.
Yeah,
right. Put your tongue back in your mouth, guys. So on Monday, the court heard that Green had described the failing project as a B shitty movie. As part of a lengthy cross-examination, White Lantern's lawyer, Max Malin KC, asked Green whether she was accustomed to lying in text messages, to which Green responded that she has a very direct manner, before adding, I was not expecting to have my WhatsApp messages exposed in court. It's already very humiliating. No fucking shit, idiot. During the lengthy cross-examination, Green repeatedly described a chaotic atmosphere as the film began to collapse, citing a lack of crew, stunt training, and even empty production offices at Blackhanger, where the film was supposed to shoot. It was like an imaginary movie, she explained. I lived through this, and I don't really understand. I'm still confused by this cuckoo situation. And then, obviously, the counter statements is that Green was excessive and burdensome on demands. She then asked for examples. He cited her high standards and experienced heads of department, which had been causing frustration for the producers. She replied saying, I was not demanding anything. I was making suggestions, and it was to ensure the quality of the movie. They were just suggestions. Of course, the producers were very free to say no, which is true. When questioned over messages in which Green expressed she was pulling out of the project, keep your minds out of the gutter, and would not work with Seal, whom she felt was damaging the quality of the film by reducing the budget and insisting on a studio shoot as opposed to on location, she pointed to her Bond co-star, Daniel Craig, who told a journalist in 2015 he would rather slash my wrists than return to play Bond. Despite the bombastic claim, she explained he subsequently returned for a final 007 film. When Malin, this is funny, when Malin countered that Green had plucked the Craig anecdote out of her agent's witness statement, she retorted, I know this story very well because I know Daniel very well. So I didn't just pull it out of a witness statement. I know Daniel. Shut up. But yeah, basically, I didn't even know this thing was happening, but it also got really like childish. So if it wasn't childish enough already, at one point, while Green's agents was whispering to her legal team, Malin turned around and said sharply, I wonder if Mr. Collier could keep his voice down while the witness is giving evidence.
Oh.
Yeah. Green also noted the atmosphere at one point, saying it's very tense. And on another occasion, after Malin repeatedly asked her to explain the words in a message that had been sent during the final weeks of the film's development, Ava Green grew visibly frustrated, retorting, words, 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 words.
You know, the thing that she's French, man. You know, they really, you know, they're different.
They're on another level of crazy.
Different.
They're French, you know.
Oh, goodness, man.
I was humiliated. Sacre bleu. What is this? What is WhatsApp? How dare you? Let me get back to my movie. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, Paulie.
Thank you. Thank you. Oui.
That was très bien, Paul. But still, I'd like to just interject that this might not be so much typical like the French, the Latin blood, so much as a deeply toxic person. This is someone with Amber Heard's conditions all over again. That's we're kind of like seeing get to the surface like that. That entitlement, that slight narcissism, this like condescending, belittled behavior, and you even see how like even in court she has to snap, and just the way that she's like, I wasn't prepared for my texts to ever be used against me. Then I'm like thinking, you sent those texts, and you sent them to professional parties. And here's like a pro tip. Never send anything in writing that you are not prepared to have thrown right back you in your face.
Yeah, I mean, see, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like Amber Heard. I would say this is more a symptom of just like Hollywood in general. You know, like I think actors in general can be quite narcissistic. Obviously, not all of them. Like I get that, but I also think once you reach a certain level, you know, sometimes you don't reach that level without being somewhat of a narcissist and without being somewhat ruthless. You know, and I'm not condoning the behavior, but I think to compare it to Amber Heard is
okay, fine. Fine. She has not taken a dump in anyone's bed that we know of. So yeah, that's I retract that. But still, it is some kind of behavior that us normal
definitely
people on the
narcissistic.
Sure. would call slightly narcissistic and really condescending, especially referring to the local crews just try to do the rest as shitty peasants.
Awful.
And it's the combination of the two words. One, they're shitty, but two, they're peasants.
Yeah, I really hate that.
Marie Antoinette, just to carry on with the French.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's a shitty peasant. What is this? Hey, le toilet. I don't poo-poo like Amber Heard. I wee-wee. I wee-wee. I don't poo-poo. Who's this Amber Heard? She's a shitty peasant. She's a peasant who married Johnny Depp. He's not even that handsome. That's a poo-poo. I pee-pee and wee-wee. I am Evergreen, this shitty peasant. Why am I in court?
She should have ended her statement with, "You are all of you beneath me." That's
Nate's dying.
Oh, that would have been epic. That would have been an epic ending.
Now I would have loved that speech that I just did, and she had done it like, the nice low plunge. I'm there. I'm watching it, man. I'll watch it. Low plunge. Come on now. Come on. Let's go.
I am the greatest French actress ever. You should be kissing my feet, no?
Who are you? Mexican.
Fuck you, peasant.
Are you peasant? Mexican. We took over your country.
The stream is officially
for 10 years we were in Mexico.
I didn't start it.
You peasant.
I was going to do a Pepe Le Pew joke and I let it slide.
Tom sounded like the little tiny minute small people from the original Willow movie there.
Yeah, it's trying to be a woman, but it didn't quite work out.
Oh, goodness me.
I could never pull it off.
Right. Bloody last stream, I had Paulie constantly saying, "Mr. Gay Jedi, Gay Jedi, Gay Jedi, Jedi Gay, Gay Jedi."
What is this Gay Jedi? I don't understand.
Off, and now
would that be a gay die?
And the French, and not just French, but like people who say that shit, like peasant, and all that, they don't understand stuff that's below them. I don't understand this. Why am I here?
Yeah, but I will say that a gay Jedi that just might be highbrow enough that Eva Green might be interested in it.
Dear, oh dear.
Hey guys, stay tuned for the after party coming in minutes after this. Minutes. Continue this. Rudy,
continue that. Right. Paul is doing Thursdays, doing after stream.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
we can continue the talk.
All right, everyone, just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Right. Well, we've got super chat saved by the super chat. Gary, £5. Thanks so much. After watching everything that happened with Amber, do I even need to watch Gone Girl?
No, you've already seen it.
You do not.
Yeah.
You literally have seen it. Saved by the super
that's
chat.
true. Yeah.
So, last topic. Daisy Ridley talks indie. Sometimes I think about dying, producing, and her Star Wars future. I mean, the thing about the Star Wars future is that there isn't really any,
Yeah.
That's basically. But she's constantly asked about this now.
She was so asked in this article, in this interview, and they kept going back to it, which was really annoying because you can tell. This is printed, but she's like, "I've moved on. I have other projects. We're here for this project."
Yeah, so naturally, Star Wars rumors continue to swirl around Ridley, and they likely always will, as fans hope to see more of her beloved Jedi Rey.
Where are those fans at?
Exactly. Where are those fans at?
I don't know any of those people.
Yeah, I think what they should be saying is that as we, the establishment media complex, are rooting for her to return, because the Lord knows the fans aren't.
Yeah, it's just such nonsense. So anyway, the question remains if Ridley Rey will have a role in the standalone installment. As of this moment, Ridley insists. She knows nothing about what's to come. I really don't know if there are plans. I just don't know, Ridley says. But ultimately, I loved my experience. I loved what I got to do, and I love the people I got to work with. So, should that happen again, even once? Amazing. Where's the other bit that you were saying about Paulie?
I mean, if you just scroll down, like they, for a minute they're asking about the film, blah blah blah, then they come back around.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah,
I often think about two very specific moments. Is there one up here?
No, that's it.
Choreographed laser sword fights. Yeah. The other is when she experienced blah blah blah. It's like, in terms of the Rey, I do remember, like, it's very much like, I had many discoveries as that character. Now, you made 3 massive movies in 5 years, which is a crazy amount of work. Did you get the chance to properly enjoy the experience, or was there so much hustle and bustle that you didn't really get the opportunity to savor it. On the third film, I was very present. What does that mean? On the first two, I was like, oh my God, they've chosen the wrong person. Oh my God, I'm going to screw it all up. Oh my God.
I know what it means.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, because I was like thinking that she might mean that she was there for all the rounds of reshoots, and there were so many of them. So she obviously had to be very, very present.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, it's just this constant like going backwards and forwards. I loved them all. I loved all of them, but it was nice to really be in my body for that last filming experience. It took why are they talking so much about this? It took 32 years to revisit Han, Luke, and Leia. There's so much story was missed during that time. Yeah, so let's ask a character that's not related to them, shall we? So my one hope for Rey is that we reunite with her at least once every decade and track her. Who is this? Who is interviewing this? What? So my one hope for Rey is that we reunite with her at least once every decade and track her development over time.
Yeah,
is that more appealing to you than waiting 30 years and playing catch up on all the time?
That's exactly what I said. It's not the fans that want to see her; it's the entertainment media complex. And I say so right here. It's the interviewer says, "I want to see you come back every decade."
And she's like, honestly, I have no idea. I feel like Rey's story ended in a wonderful way with the last film. It's already been an insane 3 years since that film came out. It has been 3 years. Wow. I feel like quite a different person. We've all gone through a massive change in the last 3 years with lots of crazy things happening. So
you're
I really
a different person.
So yeah. So I just,
it's called acting, you idiot.
So I really don't know if there are plans. I just don't know.
Yes, I attended the Evergreen School of Acting.
This incessant asking her about Star Wars reminds me of two things.
Fucking weird.
It reminds me of when they asked Shatner and those guys one of those really nerdy, stupid questions where Shatner's just like, I don't know the fucking answer to that, kid. I just read the script. You know, like and the other times it's when they give people like Alicia Silverstone this, you know, they give that poor girl this illusion she still has a massive career by asking her, would you ever return to Batgirl? You know, it's like, yeah, sure. Of course I would. And the thing with Star Wars is, there's been a little rumblings here and there about some Rey projects, but she's never coming back in some massive trilogy or anything like that. At least not anytime soon. And she was, what wasn't it, just a year ago, she was griping that she wasn't getting any movie offers because of Star Wars. And it's like, it's the middle of the pandemic and you just came out with a movie. What the hell are you talking about, lady?
Yeah, that's about right.
So to me, her interviews come off like when you talk to a 12-year-old girl who has no idea what the fuck's going on with her life.
Yeah, and also too, where'd you go, Tommy? You're so handsome. Where'd you go?
I just like to feed me, Tom.
Thank you.
Well, Andre's got to dip out, so let's hear Andre's
sorry,
opinion real quick.
Go ahead. I was being silly.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me. It's been a great stream, and I wish I could be here longer, but it's getting quite late here. So you're just gonna have fun on race expense without me. Although I just would like to point out what the final thing before I go, like what Tom was saying, how she was complaining about how bad her career was because of Star Wars. Dude, your Star Wars career was playing topless dead girl on a slab number 3.
Thank you.
I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah. Take care, Andre. Much love, Hefe.
Yeah,
see you, buddy.
Likewise. All right.
Catch you next Thursday.
Everyone. See you all around.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. To add that with what Andre was saying was that, you know, she's been working. They have been very small films or flops. Yeah. And now she's going the indie route. She's at Sundance promoting her wares. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, maybe she comes from that, you know, elite background of actors, you know, that feel that this is below them, that they got to go to a film festival, even though it's Sundance. She's a really, you know, I actually like her acting a lot, not in Star Wars. But, you know, maybe the big movies haven't been calling her, but it happens to a lot of people that are in flops. They'll do an indie, they'll do a
Yeah, the phone stops ringing. That's what happens.
right? The phone stops ringing, and then you come back around.
She's done a couple of bigger movies outside of Star Wars. She did that one with Spider-Man, Tom Holland one, and
Chaos
she did
Walking.
the Agatha Christie movie.
Yep.
There's another one I can't think of, but it's like some futuristic kind of thing she did. I think it was on Netflix or something like that. But yeah.
Well, she did one awful film where she's Ophelia.
Maybe
It's called
that's
Ophelia. It's called Ophelia, where she,
the point is, I know she's been in more movies than a lot of other people have.
Correct. The point is, that's what I'm saying, Tom, is that she's been working. They were just small films or flops. No one
more than Alicia Silverstone, poor girl.
That is a shame. And
apparently she did Murder on the Orient Express.
That's the one I was talking about.
That's
the
the one.
Christie one. Yep.
She's fantastic. Fantastic. And then Death on the Nile, Brana did that one earlier, about a year ago.
I don't think she was in the sequel, but yeah.
No, she's not. But they're just done really well. But yeah, she's at Sundance promoting a film. It's great. So, welcome to working actors. She was, like you said, like Andre said, she was plucked out of obscurity, and boom, she becomes the biggest at that time, the biggest thing you're talking about when she got cast. It's pretty amazing. But the reality is you gotta have, you're still very young. These movies have ended. What's next?
Got to take the good or the bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Got to take the good or the bad. I mean, she was flung into stardom and clearly wasn't ready for it. Because obviously a lot of that she's gonna, what's come with that and the way she's handled herself in certain interviews and things obviously led. There's a lot of it's like her handlers, right? Like it's not. I think it's best to assume that most actors are stupid. Most, not all, most, and they have a range of handlers that prep them on what to say and how to handle themselves in interviews and what not to say as well. And she wasn't a seasoned pro, and she said a lot of stuff that riled people up. Like she was thrust into stardom. I think she could have handled herself better in those interviews, despite her character being unlikable and the Star Wars films going off the deep end. But she still could have come across like a likable actor, like an actual likable person. And
she still says wacky things.
That's what I mean. Like her handlers should have sorted her out. That's what I mean. Like, because she's not a seasoned pro. Like it's not like you're dealing with like Tom Cruise, for instance. He's been in shitty films.
Yeah.
But he handles himself like a pro because he's been in the game for so long. He's had handlers for so long. He knows exactly what to say and what not to say. People don't associate him with the shit films. They associate him with the good films and his run.
Yeah, I just think it's where the actor comes from as a real person. Their pedigree, their training.
Well, yeah, she's very hoity-toity.
Well, she's always been an she's always been a trained actor since she was a kid. So
that's what I mean. She's English. She's upper class. She's hoity-toity. So
gotcha.
She does. We're talking about like Ava Green looking down her nose on people. Daisy Ridley is from a higher class. She's upper class. So she was always from wealth and what we could, privilege from that perspective of wealth and privilege, like born into wealth. So I
gotta jump on over there. Yeah. Get ready for the after party, my friend.
But the party's not even finished. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, that's done. How can you go to the after party when the main party's not even done?
Fucking son of a bitch!
I'm hosting, man. I'm getting.
I don't give a shit. You can't do an after party when the party's not done. Unbelievable.
All right. Let's keep on. Let's keep it on then.
Well, we still got another hour and a half, Paulie.
Sorry, everyone watching. Paulie's got to go, so that means this party's done because the after party.
What?
I'm so sorry. That rounds out this stream because Paulie needs to go.
Yes, because you're all shitty peasants.
Exactly. Fucking hell! You did this last week. I called you out for it then. I'm gonna make a supercut of what I did. I called you out every time I do this. I'm gonna call you out. Yeah, look.
Hey, you're having fun. You're having fun.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god. That's funny.
Is it?
I'm having fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you
The
are.
connection too. Yeah, you're right. It's just those disconnected actors, and you compare them to Tom Cruise.
Let's talk about that again, Nadia. So we had to go. Oh dear. No, we'll round out of there. My back's hurting anyway, so we'll round.
After all that, after all that,
you need to schedule just as schedule them for past for an extra half an hour because these tend to kind of roll over now. So just as
okay. Let me write that note down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Right.
Well, he's writing that down. Just
fucker.
On a little side note on this Daisy Ridley thing, she hated freaking Rise of Skywalker.
And did she? When did she say that?
Like, or do you remember the interview where they interviewed the whole cast and they're like, so what'd you think about how everything ended in this movie and they could only use facial expressions?
Yeah, I remember that.
And her
yeah.
face was and then while she was doing interviews and talking stuff,
wasn't that actually like Galaxy's Edge or something like that?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she knows about all the backlash. Of course, she's going to get asked about it and stuff. And I'm sure there's a part of her that would like to come back, but man, does she really want to come back into that typecast role that she kind of got put into that kept her from getting a lot of work because everybody saw her and knew her as Rey. So does she want to come back to that? I'm sure there's probably a part of her that's like, oh yeah, I would love to come back. I had fun working on that. But I think she totally wants to get beyond the Star Wars thing and do other stuff.
Well, she's being smart in what she's doing now, right? Like doing indie projects, going into producing, and going the sort of the indie project route. That's really smart, and hopefully she comes out better for it, and the projects she does are good. I don't want shit content to be made because that's worse for everyone. Like it's good for everyone benefits when better content is made. So she's doing the right thing. She is doing the right thing. But Paulie will be pleased to know that does round us out. Fucking, I'm gonna get Mexican Iron Man in there. God.
See.
Right.
See.
So where can everyone find you, Paulie? Do some self-promotion because I know
right now, get on over.
Oh, yeah, right now.
Get on over. We got Paul Chato.
Send
we're gonna hang out.
Maybe I'll stop by.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out for about an hour and talk some more shit about peasants and being French.
Yeah. All right, fine. But he's on the Latino slant was what I was looking for him to do, but never mind.
Yeah, Latino slant. Much love.
Peace out, Paulie.
Love you, man. Peace.
See you.
Love you guys.
Tom, where can people find you, buddy?
You can find me on Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark, where in about an hour or so I'll be going live with Midnight's Edge After Dark Live. So hopefully I'll see y'all there. And we got the morning show tomorrow, as always, on the main channel. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, you're more than welcome. And Nick?
I'm one half of Echo Base Network. You can find me and Coach over on Echo Base Network. We actually might do a chill stream later on tonight, or maybe just record a video later on tonight. We haven't really decided. I got some work stuff that I'm going to do right after this, so we'll figure it out later. So we might be going live later on this evening.
Just to clarify, never did hear back from Star Wars, Meg.
Oh, really? Never. Oh, never. Well, her and Jason Ward blocked us on Twitter.
What a bunch of fucking pussies.
Well, and at least Nick admitted that he's half a man. Did you hear that earlier?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, she blocked a lot of people. I don't know if you're blocked.
I don't know. Let me have a look. I don't know.
I am blissfully ignorant of her existence still. That's the beauty.
So was I.
Yeah,
I'd probably say you're not blocked.
I am not blocked.
Do not care.
But I'm surprised I'm not blocked. But anyway, I just thought I'd update everyone that she never reached out. She doesn't want to come on. Doesn't want to clarify. So whatever. Can't do much else with that, eh?
She probably just wants it to go away at
bad
this point.
advice.
Yeah.
Ah, dear, oh dear. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, please do check out the second channel, Mistakes Reviews Live Archives. Love to have you there as well. All these streams get clipped and get put up there. So head on over to that. It's linked in the description box. Follow me over on Twitter at Mistakes Reviews. Don't have an Instagram anymore. I deleted that. So
you got rid of your Instagram.
Yeah, I have a bizarre association with social media. I'm not massive. I only use Twitter primarily. I'll go into it another time, but yeah, I deleted it. So yeah, follow me over on Twitter at Mistakes Reviews. You want to support the channel, become a member, become a patron. All of it's linked down below. But thank you all so much. Hope you have a great evening, day, whatever it is where you are. Take care. Peace out.
See you guys.
Later.